All right, awesome. So hi everyone, welcome to our January town hall. This is obviously the first one of the 2025 year, so Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Lauren Altman. I'm the current president of the National Association of Blind Students, and it's so exciting that you all are on this call tonight. I see some new faces, some old faces, and I'm really thrilled just that everyone can be here. We have a nice jam-packed agenda as always, so we will go ahead and get started. The layout of this meeting is going to be starting with our committee updates. We're going to move into our seminar updates, and then from there, we're going to go into our Q&A portion. So starting with our committees, I'm going to hand it off to our membership committee to give us our updates.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Manahil, and I will be talking to you guys of what the membership committee has been up to for the past couple of months. So, they are currently in the final stages of launching our well-anticipated mentorship program. I see some of you on the call have either signed up to be a mentor or a mentee. The launch email and this program will get everything on the road at the end of this month and will be well on its way come February. So please stay tuned, and we're super excited to launch that initiative. Another update we have is back in December, we had one of our first NABS membership committee game nights of this year. Super well attended. We played a really fun game of trivia, having a bunch of different categories. And I'll be happy to tell you that it is coming back for the end of January. So on January 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern will be the membership bi-monthly game night. So please stay tuned on our WhatsApp, on our listserv to get all the necessary information on that. And finally, the biggest and most important thing that the membership committee wants you to know is active dues member status. So we know that we all love NABS. We know that we all want to be dues paying members of NABS. And unfortunately, if you were a member in the past, we encourage you to continue on and pay your dues again for this month. So, how our process works is at the beginning of every single calendar year, which means this past January 1st, 2025, everyone is set as an inactive member. So, to become an active member, please go ahead and fill out our membership form, which is step one. You can find that on a myriad of our platforms. First being on our email list, we have a reminder that was sent out and it will continue being sent out. Second would be our website. I don't believe it is currently updated, but it should be updated soon. And if you are curious and don't have the correct form, please either message in the WhatsApp or reach out to anyone on the membership committee and they will get you that form as soon as possible. Next, after you fill out that form, you must pay your $5 dues. Now, we take these dues from any method of either Zelle, PayPal, donation directly through our website, or you could pay in person at Washington Seminar or any of our other in-person events. But, that doesn't automatically make you a member. The final step is to be voted in. Now, if you were a member in the past of NABS, you will get a confirmation email congratulating you that you have been renewed your membership status for 2025. If this is your first time, we encourage you to go through this process, but the board does have to vote on your membership status, and we will alert you through email as soon as you are accepted. So just to quickly go over first, fill out the membership form. Second, pay your dues. Third, if this is your first time becoming a member with NABS, then you will have to wait till you're approved by the board. And in both cases, you will get an email confirming your status. If you have not gotten an email confirming your status, then please reach out to someone on the membership committee or the NABS board, and we will confirm with you on your status and answer any questions you have. So that's all I have, Madam President.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Manahil, for going over those updates. Definitely very excited to get as many members as possible. The process is super simple, so please, make sure to do it ASAP so we can plug you in with more resources. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to any of the board members. We'd be very happy to assist you in the process. With that being said, I'm going to pass it off to our next committee, which is going to be content creation.
Yay, awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Ecclesia Tashoma, and I am the co-chair of the Content Creation Committee. I also co-host the NABS Now podcast, and I manage our social media platforms. So here is what we've been up to so far. Up first, we have our podcast subcommittee. We recently released our episode in December 1st called Students Making Change. It's our hashtag Right to Ride, and we basically covered the perspective and the insight of the guide dog rally that took place in California and some of the guide dog handlers that were in attendance. We are currently working on an upcoming episode called Love is Blind, expected to be released in the month of February. And we are super excited to be working on this episode because we will be talking about the relationships that blind individuals are in, and especially coming from different backgrounds, different walks of life. And so we're super excited to sort of get advice and insight on how blind individuals and blind people navigate that. Our podcast can be found on YouTube at National Association of Blind Students. So if that's where you get your podcast from, feel free to check us out. Up next, we have our video subcommittee, and this is super exciting. We are working on a video in conjunction with NABS Notes, which I will talk about a little bit later. This video will be talking about the in-depth sort of perspective of the National Federation of the Blind National Scholarship application process, and highlighting insight and advice, which is always helpful from former recipients of the NFB National Scholarship. So when this comes out, feel free to check it out. It is also available on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. So that's super exciting. Last but not least, we have NABS Notes, which is expected to be published on February 15th. And in this article, we will also be covering, as mentioned, the National Scholarship application process, the do's and don'ts. We will also be highlighting Washington Seminar. We will be spotlighting two student divisions, and the message from the board will be from Manahal Joffrey. So keep an eye out for that. If anyone is interested in getting involved in the Content Creation Committee, feel free to reach out to our chair, Noah Carver, who is hosting this meeting. And his email is noah.t.carver@outlook.com. And I will also link his email in the chat. And thank you so much.
Just two quick things. The NABS notes are available on our website, nabslink.org. And also you can find links to our website as well as all of our social media platforms, our WhatsApp community, and our email list and several other things at our link tree. You can find that at linktr.ee/nabslink, and I'll drop those two links in the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. And definitely, I neglected to mention this at the beginning of the meeting, but one of the fantastic parts about our town hall, other than giving, and receiving updates about what the committees have been working on, is that if you're interested in getting involved in a committee, or hopping on a certain project that one of them is running, definitely reach out to their leadership, because we are always looking for new folks to get involved in different projects. So definitely feel free, if you have a passion for content creation, or you're interested, or you know how to, audio edit or video edit, definitely reach out. They're always looking for new talent, and same goes for all the other committees. So fantastic. Thank you, guys. And we're going to move on next to our advocacy committee.
All right. Can everyone hear me okay? All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. My name is Kaylee Brendel, and I am so grateful to serve as the chair of our advocacy committee and to tell you what we've been up to for the past 2 months since we last had this kind of update. So, in the middle of November, we streamed the advocacy mock trial, which was held at the NABS/MDABS Mid-Atlantic Student Seminar at the Jernigan Institute in August of 2024. That call was very well attended. And in our little intermission, the fundraising committee was also able to provide some amazing updates about the initiatives that they were working on. We also did a little Zoom poll as the trial was progressing to see which side those in attendance thought had the stronger argument. That call or the length of the trial has been condensed to around 1 hour and 10 minutes. So we cut out any recesses that happened. We cut out pre-trial just to make sure that we'd have time to kind of get to the full case in chief. So we're very grateful to have put that on. And the footage of the trial itself is now in the hands of the Content Creation Committee if you weren't able to be there for the actual call. Moving right along to December, we had a more interpersonal focused DARE call for that month, focusing on advocacy around the holidays. So advocating maybe at those holiday festivities or those family dinners. So we had some specific prompts that guided our discussion. We talked about the accessibility of the gift giving and receiving process. We talked about how to navigate cooking in the kitchen with relatives who maybe have a different process than you, or different expectations or perspectives on what you're capable of, and how to kind of assert what you can do in that sphere. We talked about how to independently get and eat your holiday meal. And we talked about and shared some stories about how to deal with low expectations from family in environments like that. And we were able to share some strategies, some tips and tricks. We were all over the map. We were talking about football at the holidays, Pollyannas for gift swap, different experiences people had. It was a well-attended call that really was very interpersonal focused and very discussion based. And we just wanted to make sure that everyone had that chance to just share any thoughts that they had. And moving right along, in exactly a week, to a T actually. So Sunday, January 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be holding our January DARE call that's going to be focusing on an event I know is coming up very, very soon, Washington Seminar. So we are going to be going through each of the legislative priorities that the Federation has designated for this year. So that would be the Blind Americans Return to Work Act, the Medical Device Non-Visual Accessibility Act, and the Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act. So we'll be kind of debriefing on each of those priorities and talking through what should go in your pitch to either a legislative aide or a legislator themselves when you're down on Capitol Hill on the 4th and 5th. And then to kind of top the meeting off, we will be having or featuring a mock congressional appointment. So during this, you will see what a pitch could look like about each of the 3 legislative priorities for this year. And our amazing president, Lauren Altman, will be playing the role of the legislator or legislative aide. And you'll get to see, some of the different ways that some of those pitches could be received. You get to see maybe the ideal scenario and some scenarios that are a little maybe less than ideal, and how you can work with those if those pop up for you. So again, that's 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the 19th. We would love to see you there and kind of answer any questions that you might have about any of these priorities. I also have an amazing announcement that I'm so grateful to share with you all regarding committee structure. I remember I I know I shared at one of our first town halls that we would love to launch a task force specifically concerning the governmental, legal, or institutional aspects of advocacy. So at that more macro level. So that task force would be planning calls like the one that you're about to see regarding Washington seminar. And I'm so thrilled to share with you all tonight that that task force is officially created and their work is underway. One of our wonderful co-chairs, Osalu Ozo Unyali, will be chairing that task force, and its members are Ava Oriana and Andre Hill. And following the conclusion of Washington seminar, we are looking to establish a concurrent task force that focuses more on the interpersonal side of advocacy. So that task force's work would specifically pertain to DARE calls with foci like what you saw in September or December. So if you would be interested in getting involved with that interpersonal advocacy task force, I'm going to drop my email address in the chat, but it's kayleebrendel@gmail.com. Very unique spelling on both, so just copy paste. But I would love to hear from you all on that. And advocacy is now hard at work planning the NABS Winter Seminar, which will be taking place on Monday, February 3rd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. During Washington Seminar. And if you're not able to attend in person, there will be an option to attend remotely. This year's theme is empowerment through resources, right? So just recognizing that it's not the capability of blind students that, holds us back from achieving anything we want to. It's we need to make sure that everyone is connected to the proper supports and resources that allow them to achieve their full potential. And so we're just going to be covering resources in kind of fields all over the map in that regard, to make sure that everyone has what they need to succeed and to live the life that they want. So that is all of the information and updates that I have to share at this time. Thank you so much for listening, and I would love to take any questions or turn it back over to our amazing president.
Isabel, question.
Mhm.
So for the interpersonal task force, are you looking for some people who are experienced in like public relations, or are you just looking for anybody in particular to assist with that? Like, what's your criteria?
So I'm happy to go more into depth about criteria a little bit offline. I think that's going to be a little bit longer of a conversation. But essentially, I would just love to talk to anybody who has that interest. It's more like when you think interpersonal advocacy, that's like the one-to-one, right? So that could be a professor to a student.
Mm-hmm.
That could be like we saw in December, a student or a student to a family member during the holidays. So anybody who feels that their experience would be conducive to that. But I am happy to talk more extensively with you about criteria offline.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, hearing no other questions, I am happy to turn it back to Lauren.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'm definitely very, very, very excited. Kaylee and the advocacy committee are doing a fantastic job planning winter seminar, and I can't wait for all of you to get to see it in just under a month. And absolutely, if you can't be there in person, definitely click on this exact Zoom link. You can stream the seminar from anywhere. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to our fundraising committee to give us our last committee update.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone. So glad to see such a big crowd. Hope everyone is enjoying their day so far and the beginning of the new year. For those who might not know, my name is Zachary Ledford, and I am the chair of our fundraising committee, along with some amazing co-chairs who I'm sure are on this call as well. To provide some updates for you guys regarding our fundraising committee, we have been hard at work with multiple different fundraisers so far throughout this year, and it has been really awesome to see all the engagement we've received from many of you. We recently had a popcorn fundraiser back in November around Thanksgiving, and we had just raised over $700, which is very exciting, and one of our bigger projects that helped a ton. So thank you for those that participated and even bought popcorn during that fundraiser. We also had a movie night back in December that followed a couple weeks after that fundraiser, and that was super fun as well. We were able to watch Home Alone, a very popular holiday movie that many enjoy, and thanks again to those as well who came out for that as well. Our NABS fantasy football fundraiser has began to wrap up, and there was quite a big engagement. We had four leagues this year, about 10 to 12 people, and there was some very fun engagement. Even some of those that participated were very interested. And we even had some interest to have that fantasy football fundraiser again next year, which is always exciting. I hear it's a very eventful but engaging activity that NABS usually puts on. Our auction committee is also at work preparing for our NABS annual auction, which is coming up will take place on Monday, February 3rd, that evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern during the Washington seminar, and it will be a hybrid auction. So those not attending in person are also able to join via Zoom using this link as well, just like the winter seminar. Finally, we are beginning to put fundraising efforts together for the remainder of this year, and you will definitely want to be on the lookout for the NABS listserv or any of our social media and fellow content for those opportunities as they become available. If you have any questions regarding fundraising or the auction, I'm going to go ahead and put my information in the chat. You can shoot me an email or reach out through our NABS WhatsApp channel within our NABS community. But I'm happy to take any questions. But if there are not any questions, we'll go ahead and pass it off to Lauren.
Lauren, I have a question for you.
Lauren.
So I was wondering if you could give us maybe a few teasers of what some of the baskets will be for our auction this year.
That's a very great question, and I'd be happy to. I'm sure a lot of you might have seen our email this morning that teased a very cool basket for a student survival kit basket. We have a self-care basket that is being donated, which includes a bunch of fun stuff such as lip balm, moisturizing cream, and a pair of fuzzy socks. We always have a big hit with a coffee basket, and that's going to be donated as well. And then another one to keep you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger with some custom baked goods baskets. So be sure to tell your friends and family and say, hey, you guys have a little money, you can come and help fund for NABS by buying these fun activities, or if you want to get a gift for someone, it's definitely a good gift. But those are just some of the very exciting baskets that we will have auctioned off at our NABS auction.
Isabel, question.
Go for it.
So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 question. Is this going to be for everyone at seminar, or is this just a student auction only? And is this a progressive auction?
So that is a great question. This will be available to any and all over Zoom and also in person at Washington
So any
seminar.
federation is not just students, is what you're saying.
Correct. We do get a lot of attraction for a lot of affiliate leaders and affiliate members as well. So anyone is welcome to join. So you're welcome to share this information as well once it becomes available for people to come and attend the auction. In terms of the second part of your question, it is most likely just going to happen on that evening of Monday, February 3rd.
I'm sorry, what I meant by progressive auction is if you bid $9 and somebody bids $10, you still have to pay the $9.
Not to my knowledge. I don't believe we've had that in the past. But any NABS member who is participating in the auction, feel free to correct me. But to my understanding, we're not going to be doing that.
Lauren, that's not usually the structure we use for auction. So it's just kind of your stereotypical auction where the highest bid has to pay that amount.
Thank you for the
Okay,
clarification.
thank you.
Any other questions? Awesome. Hearing none, over back to you, Lauren.
Fantastic. Before we move on, are there any other questions for any of the committees, any of our 4 committees? Okay, hearing none, we'll move right ahead, and definitely feel free to use all of those links and email addresses that are popping up in the chat, as well as you can always go to our website to find contact information or check our listserv, text in our WhatsApp, etc. Definitely want to get as many people involved as possible. Speaking of our committees, I have some exciting news. Excuse me. I have some exciting news that I think a handful of people already knew, that typically during the transition between semesters, so that would be around, after Washington seminar, we switch up our committee members a little bit, just to, help to promote leadership growth, to give different people opportunities to work on different committees, meet new people, different tasks, all that jazz. So soon, in the next month or so, we will be swapping out some committee members. So that just goes to say that we are, always very excited to give, more people leadership opportunities. If you're interested in getting involved, or if you have a specific, committee that you are interested in helping out with more, definitely feel free to get to know those new committee leaders as well. And we're super grateful for the work that our current committee members have done for their respective committees, because committees are the bulk of the work that NABS does, and they make up the majority of our programming. So without them, we would definitely be a lot less effective. So thank you so much to all of our committee chairs, committee co-chairs. And now we're going to pass it off to our team that is working on planning our Midwest seminar, which is going to be taking place in early March. So I'm going to pass it off to you guys.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Lakani. I am serving as chair of the Midwest Committee, and I'm serving alongside James Yessel, who is my co-chair for Midwest. And the Midwest seminar theme is Beyond the Handshake, Networking in the Windy City. You might be asking yourself, what does that mean? So essentially, the theme of this seminar pertains to helping blind students, us, find employment and internships and full-time opportunities, and helping blind students build their connections past, with friends and family. So this seminar is going to be a little different than previous seminars that we've had, because we are going to try and get professionals out to the seminar who are in various fields, such as lawyers or, entrepreneurs or people in untraditional career paths. And these people are also blind, to kind of get blind students exposure to these people so that they can understand how, like, X person went from point A to point B. And we really want to help promote that through the seminar. So we're going to talk about all the resources like vocational rehabilitation and how you can utilize that to help get you to where you are. And if you are in a more untraditional path, how do you stay motivated? How do you talk about how do you commit to continuing to do whatever it is that is the path that you decide to go down? So there's a lot there. There's a lot of content that people in general have been struggling with. I know personally myself, finding internships, finding full-time jobs, figuring out whether grad school's the next move to go to get into a certain field is all things that I've been thinking about. So that's what the seminar is about. The seminar will be happening March 7th through the 9th, and it starts on that Friday evening and it goes to that Sunday afternoon, adjournment at 12. And there is going to be a lot more information coming out, like pertaining to who are these professionals going to be once everything is settled. But I highly, highly encourage you guys to register now. And I could drop the registration link here in the chat once I'm done speaking. And I will also drop my email address. So if you have any questions and want to reach out after this call, you are more than welcome to. And I just want to stop here and ask if there are any questions that I can answer. Sounds good. It sounds like I covered it all. I will pass it back to you, Lauren.
Fantastic. Thank you, Josh. I know we're very excited. We had a fantastic Midwest seminar last year, and we can't wait to be back in Chicago again in just a few short months. So definitely fill out that registration ASAP. Book your hotel, get everything settled so that you can be in Chicago for our seminar in just a few short months. With that being said, we're going to move into our question and answer portion of the meeting. We had a form ahead of time that folks could fill out with some questions that they had for the board of NABS and or just other members, things to brainstorm. So we're going to go through this first, and if afterwards we have some more time and people have some questions on the spot, you can definitely ask those. So that being said, the first question that I'm going to pose out to the group that we had somebody ask is, when making a slideshow for a class, what is the most accessible program to use with JAWS/VoiceOver? Do you prefer using Google Slides Google Slides or PowerPoint?
Kaylee?
Manahil and then Kaylee.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great question. And PowerPoint is definitely something that is, can be difficult to navigate. I would say with JAWS PowerPoint, there are actually a lot of videos that you can find online, as well as if you Google PowerPoint how to use with JAWS, very detailed tutorials on how exactly to do that with JAWS. I would also say VoiceOver, Keynote, which is Mac's own PowerPoint, I guess, version. You can convert those directly to PowerPoint. So VoiceOver, I would say Keynote. With JAWS, I would say PowerPoint. Another hack, though, and this is what I found doing a lot of PowerPoints. Sometimes it can be easier depending on how complicated you want to make your slides, how visually appealing, to take and download old PowerPoint templates. You can find these online if you just search up PowerPoint template for X type of presentation, whether you're doing something for your internship or something for your class, depending on a class. These provide a lot of different PowerPoint slides that already have complicated charts already formatted in them, or certain types of headings already formatted together into them. So it's really easy for you to just input your information and not even think about the visuals because someone else already did the formatting for you. And then finally, AI is a really cool tool, and it's very much in its beginning stages. But there's this tool for helping with basic PowerPoints. If you write up, everything you want to say within a specific PowerPoint and need to help, I guess, put it all together, there's a tool called Claude. And though it's not insanely built out yet, it actually can help you really try and make I guess more complicated diagrams. So simple answer, JAWS with PowerPoint, Keynote with VoiceOver, but if you want to get more advanced, there are a bunch of tools to do so.
Fantastic. Thank you, Manahil. I just learned a ton there myself. Kaylee, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I am so happy, Manahil, that you said Keynote and shouted out Keynote, because Keynote has been my best friend since I was 12. I absolutely adore Keynote, and I think with aesthetics, Keynote has so many options. Like I just used it for my senior thesis proposal because it has this one format that actually makes it look like your lettering is on like a hardcover book, and you can do like page flips, so it looks like it's all like this like ancient story kind of structure. Like there's so many different little tricks you can do with Keynote. You can do color gradients. There's an entire color grid that you can choose from with I think 9 or 10 options, like variants for each color on the spectrum, and each tile is like numbered, so you know like it'll say like yellow 7, like light, like vibrant, and it'll kind of describe it to you. Like voiceover is very thorough with it. And then like there's so many options. It's absolutely incredible. And you can also like type in shapes that are very, very niche to Keynote. Like what I did in a presentation is I actually like inserted clipboards and I typed within the clipboards. And then I made the clipboards like different colors. So like it was like visually the information looked a little more digestible. So Keynote has more options than I mean, I have not tinkered with PowerPoint to the extent that I've tinkered with Keynote, but I have nothing but wonderful things to say about Keynote. So if visual aesthetic is something that your professor at all factors in, I think Keynote is definitely a good choice. And honestly, I also use Keynote as an alternative to Canva. I've had to do some things for social media for another organization, and Keynote will let you get very, very creative with something for a story, or a thumbnail for a YouTube video. So there's a lot you can do with Keynote.
Noah.
Noah?
So just FYI, I've dropped a playlist for those interested in learning how to use PowerPoint with JAWS. I've plopped a playlist that Freedom Scientific's training department, Freedom Scientific is the organization, the corporation that manufactures JAWS. They have a training department. They've produced some training videos covering some basics of how to use PowerPoint with JAWS. And you can sort of peruse that. The link is in the chat. But yeah, there.
Awesome. Thank you,
Sarah?
Noah. I definitely would recommend anybody who needs to brush up on any screen reader techniques to use Freedom Scientific videos. That's how I learned to use JAWS by myself. So I think that if you are wanting to brush up on your PowerPoint skills or just any skills, definitely search up Freedom Scientific videos. Sarah, and then we'll move on to our next question.
I just wanted to throw out a quick point of clarification that Keynote is available on iOS, so you can do it on your phone and your iPad as well. You don't need a Mac to use Keynote.
Awesome. Yes, and I'm pretty sure it comes like pre-downloaded on all the Apple devices. So that sounds fantastic. All right, thank you guys. I definitely learned a lot with that one. Our next question is, other than the Colorado Center for the Blind, Louisiana Center for the Blind, BISM, and Savvy, are there any other structured discovery training centers?
Noah.
Noah, go for it.
You can find a list of the structured discovery training centers I'm just checking the link here. There's a link on nbpcb.org. That's the National Blindness Professional Certification Board. They are the organization that certifies centers as structured discovery centers and also issues the certifications like the NOMC, which is the National O&M certification for structured discovery methods, as well as several other they handle all of the structured discovery certifications. I will drop a link to that in the chat, the entire list. The NFB's sponsored training centers are the Colorado Center for the Blind and the Louisiana Center for the Blind, but there are other structured discovery centers. So I will drop the NBPCB link in the chat.
Aaron, with a question related to this one.
Oh, yeah, I just had an answer. to the question? Like what other centers, like structured discovery centers there are?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's Alabama, Hawaii, the one in Arizona. What is it called? I'm forgetting the name of it.
Savvy.
Yeah, there you go. And Des Moines, Iowa, that one like the OG Center where Kennegan started. And I might be missing another one, but those are the ones that are structured discovery centers.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm so glad that you guys know those answers. I definitely didn't know about that website, Noah, so thank you for that. I will say also that there are some centers that are not quite reached their structure discovery certification, but are, use sort of structure discovery teaching methods. So, like maybe a lot of the instructors use those methods, such as the Virginia State Center, I know does that. Did somebody else want to answer the question?
Isabel.
Oh, okay, Isabel.
So, I think update on NFB training centers. I think for those that aren't aware, Minnesota Center for the Blind should be opening if all goes well end of 2025, again under the new branding instead of Blind Incorporated. So that's going to be another NFB sponsored training center from what I understand. And Nebraska, I think, is another one that's structured discovery from what I gather, unless they've changed that.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. I'm very excited to hear that about the Minnesota Center. I hope.
I'm sure Leah Stone could tell you more, Lauren, and she knows Briley personally, so.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's good to know that it's that work has been, getting done on it. The next question that we have up for tonight is who is the liaison for Colorado, which I'm going to say is the fabulous Kaylee Brendel, who gave our advocacy reports. If you don't know already, we have liaisons from the National Association of Blind Students for the majority of states with active student divisions. So if you are interested in finding out who your liaison is, you can check our website. But the liaisons that we have are meant to help out with getting your student division going, providing advice, joining calls. You could talk about leadership skills, etc. So if you have any questions about your liaison, or if you want to know if you have a liaison, definitely reach out and we can get you that information. That being said, we are going to move on to if anybody has any questions now. That was, I think, all of our questions from the form.
Isabel.
Isabel, go for it.
Question about the membership email regarding 2025 membership status. How soon are those typically sent out? Out of curiosity, because last year I knew there was some backlog, and this year I don't know if it's the same deal, but I still haven't received mine.
Good question. So yeah, we're definitely hoping to get out the forms or the emails as soon as possible. I will say that there is a lot of members to get through and a lot of names to double check. So we are hoping to get to them as soon as possible, and definitely will be getting to them sooner than last year. We apologize for how long that took.
And if you didn't get yours last year.
Yeah, so for folks that are new members, it's going to take a little bit longer because we have to approve you, and make sure that you are voted in. But if you are a repeated member, you should get yours slightly faster.
Okay. And that, sorry, just to follow up. That's coming from Nikki's email address, or is that coming from the nabs.president@gmail.com one?
It will be either coming from Nikki or somebody else from the membership committee.
Okay.
So not necessarily his, but it will definitely have a snazzy subject line, such as like you're a new member or something along those lines that
Like,
you will
welcome to the
know.
family, whatever. Yeah.
Monadhill.
Monadhill.
And one thing to add again for 2025. We just opened the form, so
No, I understand.
yeah, so probably expect a reaching out to all new members. We go through those once a month. So, as soon as you get it, but also we have to wait till our board meeting. If you are ever, though, concerned, confused, or unsure about your active membership status, again, please do reach out to anyone here on the board, or preferably anyone from the membership committee, and they can provide you a direct answer.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, I refreshed my computer and I see that we have some more questions from the forum. So I'm going to go through those quickly and then we can wrap up with if anybody has any more live questions. So the one question that we have is, can NABS help people go to national convention? So far we haven't had any funding opportunities in terms of, similar to our Washington seminar funding. But we do have a lot of opportunities in the NFB and other places. For example, we have our, we have our national scholarship program. So if you are one of the 30 winners of that, you will receive a full ride national convention experience. So definitely apply to that. There's also the Jernigan Scholarship for first timers attending national convention, and also some state affiliates help their students to attend. So there's definitely ways to get some funding. It's not gonna necessarily be through NABS, but there are definitely ways. So if you are interested in learning more, feel free to either peruse the NFB website, or we could also, be helpful to point you in the direction of some resources. One of the questions being asked is, what type of events happen within NABS? Is there anybody that wants to take that question?
Isabel?
All right, Isabel, go for it.
Sure.
Pop quiz.
This is gonna test my, I guess, advertising. I don't know. But NABS is a very vibrant community. There are events that happen, such as the winter seminar at Washington Seminar. There are regional seminars that take place. There are virtual meetings and calls like this. This is going from national as well, but there are also some affiliates have student divisions or committees where events take place there. I know you're not probably asking for that, but NABS is the national scale. And for those that are curious, if you hear, like, let's say NABS earlier, and it's the state abbreviation, Maryland, and then it's the Association of Blind Students. That occurs for every state that has a student division or committee. I know that's a side tangent, but basically, if you want to learn more about NABS, contact a NABS board member, contact a committee chair, co-chair, or just find a friend who's involved.
Awesome pitch. Thank you, Isabel. Yes, so we have a lot of our virtual calls, such as this one. Right, we have our town halls, we have our game night calls, we have our different virtual webinars, we have Midwest seminar and our other regional seminars. We've got our leadership seminar that happens every year. We have our meeting during national convention, our winter seminar during Washington seminar, and a ton of other stuff going on all the time. So definitely keep an eye out on our listserv and our social medias to find out what's going on, what's coming up. But yes, fantastic pitch. Thank you.
Noah?
Noah, go for it.
Just another shameless plug for our link tree. If you're interested in following us on social media, or subscribing to our listserv, or looking at our website, etc., linktr.ee/nabslink. And if you follow us on social media, or join our mailing list, or join the WhatsApp community, you will be very much plugged into what events are happening where, and we really look forward to seeing you there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Noah. The last question on our forum for tonight is, how can I get how can I get an internship at the Jernigan Institute? So
Noah.
go for it, Noah.
So, as I understand it, there will not be internships held this year. At the JI, the NFB internship program will not be holding one this year. But if you are subscribed to any of the NFB Net mailing lists, there is a master list that you will be on. So if you subscribe to the NABS mailing list, for example, you will be also on a announce only NFB Net mailing list. And if internship opportunities come around, they will likely be posted there that you can keep an eye on. Also, of course, definitely keep an eye on nfb.org. But I do not believe that there will be JI internships this year.
Thank you so much for that insight. It's definitely unfortunate that there won't be one for this year, but please definitely stay tuned because there will definitely be one in the future. Hopefully it will be next year. But there could also be a change of plans, who knows? So hopefully there will be more opportunities, but definitely stay tuned via the master list that Noah mentioned. There's always opportunities and things going on, different seminars and different ways to get involved at the various levels and get yourself, plugged in with the different aspects of the National Federation of the Blind in general. So that being said, are there any other questions that we have from our live studio audience? All right. Well, hearing none, we are going to close out for the evening. Thank you guys so much for being on our call tonight. So excited to see many of you, hopefully in DC in just a few short weeks. Please stay tuned via our social medias and our WhatsApp and our email list to learn more. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to one of our NABS board members, including myself, and have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.